Hello. Hey Gajan, how you doing, man? Yeah, no, I did a stream actually like an hour ago. Uh, and I did the reset and I did the story mission. But I don't know. Um, yeah. Thanks for being here, man. Hope you're doing well. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna wait like a minute or so and see if people kind of trickle in. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. And yeah, no, the conversations in the server have been really interesting. Um, and yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it. Okay, I'm gonna pull up pictures for later while I get ready. Where was the other picture? Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yep, 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 and open that. Okay. And then, if I need more, I'll just get those later. Yeah, sure, sounds good. Okay, I'm gonna, wait, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let me see who else we got here. Okay, well, in that case, I'm just gonna get started. Let me go to... Okay, here we go. This was actually the thumbnail I made yesterday, and then today my friend Marzier sent me the ones that I ended up using. But yeah, I had done this yesterday, so that's the original thumbnail. Okay. So today I released a video, and it was all about the mystery on Mercury and how there is some really weird stuff going on between the Traveler and the Vex. And the first thing that I want to talk about is why I made the video to begin with. Because it is a complete mystery, and it is... Hey Felix, how you doing? It is a complete mystery, and there's no real solid answer. So the question is, like, why did I mention, like, why did I bring it up? And I think the simple answer is that I wasn't seeing anybody else really talk about it. Like, maybe back in the day, when Curse of Osiris came out for the first time, or whatever, maybe somebody mentioned it, the fact that the Traveler was there while the Vex were terraforming Mercury, but I never heard anything about it, and I don't remember anything about it. And this is something that I've been thinking about for years and trying to figure out. And I'm at the point where there's not much else that I can do. And I don't think that there's going to be new information about this coming out. And so I'm at the point where, well, if I'm going to let people know about it, then I might as well do it now. And that's kind of why I'm doing it. I think at the same time that it is very interesting how it kind of connects to some of the problems that the Vex have. And it even actually has a bit of a connection to what I said about the Nine and their own issues. There's a bit of a link. And at the same time, there's a really fun potential link between this and the original story of Destiny 1. But yeah, that's basically what is going on there. But I'll pull up the... Now I have to study for tomorrow's test for... Oh, thanks, man. Take care. Yeah, okay, so I'll just pull up the... I'll pull up the picture. Let me just get the screenshot that I took. Oh boy, okay. That's gonna take a while to load, I think. I'll just get into it. So basically, in Curse of Osiris, the really weird stuff actually begins in the third campaign mission. And in that mission, the Echo of Osiris is talking about how the Vex arrived on Mercury. And actually, I have a picture here. I'll just pull it up. Bada bing, bada boom. And he shows Mercury in the past during its golden age and the Travelers in the distance. And then the Vex show up. So that's kind of weird. Like, why is the Traveler there, and then why are the Vex there? Well, maybe it's just part of the vision, and it's just Osiris, you know, communicating to us about the whole history and the story and whatever. Maybe this isn't actually a representation of historical events. And then in the Garden World Strike, which is also on Mercury in the past, you climb the spire, and you defeat Dendrin, the like root mind or whatever it's called. And then if you look out into the distance, you can see this site right here, except you're higher up. And what you see is the Traveler over a pit with light coming up or going down or whatever the direction is. And the Traveler is in its, you know, OG state. You have the lines full of light moving around. So it's being very active. It's doing something. And at the same time, there's the Vex stuff everywhere, and the Vex are in the process of turning Mercury into a machine. And I mean, from what we know about the what happened to Mercury, you know, what you see on the surface, in reality, their priority was probably making the infinite forest, right? So who knows what the core of the planet looks like at this point in time. And that was really weird, and that's what kind of made me think, that's really strange. And then at the same time, and this is where this picture is taken, in the Radiant Cliffs Crucible map, the Traveler is in the exact same spot here, and as you can see, the Vex stuff is everywhere. And this really bothered me because, first of all, why would the Traveler be just chilling with the Vex and okay with, you know, the Vex changing the world after it literally just terraformed it? And second of all, this does not add up with the timeline, because as far as we know, the Vex changing planets only really began during or after the collapse. So the Traveler shouldn't be here, and the Traveler shouldn't be, like, undamaged or whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? And I thought about this for years, and I've talked to my friends about this for years. And yesterday, I was making this video, and I was, you know, doing whatever, and my friend called me. And we were talking about this, and I was asking his opinions and stuff like that. And then he sent me 2 pictures. Well, actually, he sent me 3 pictures. This I'm going to blow your mind. I'm actually going to blow your mind. This picture is from Destiny 1. This picture is from Destiny 1, as far as I'm aware. This picture is from Destiny 1. This picture is from Destiny 1. And this picture is from Destiny 2. So that's a bit of a And in case you're thinking, like, well, okay, so if this picture is from Destiny 1, then why is it relevant? I'll tell you why it's relevant. This picture was made during the development of Destiny 1. And the Traveler is on Mercury and the Vex are terraforming it. That's really weird. Like, that's really, really weird. There's clearly a reason for this. You fast forward to Destiny 2. They basically ripped this picture and put it into the game. This picture is basically the Garden World Strike. So why keep the Traveler in the skybox? Excuse me. Like, why keep it there? There's no reason. If there's no... If you know... The easy excuse is, oh, Bungie's just being lazy. But no, but they chose... They chose to put the Traveler in the skybox with all the Vex stuff going on. It makes no sense. And so what this picture really tells me is that this wasn't just Bungie being lazy, this actually was intentional. And, yeah, I said it in the previous stream, but I uploaded 2 member exclusive videos, and in one of them I talk about some pretty juicy stuff that was shared with me concerning this picture, and like its potential, what it meant for Destiny 1, and then what kind of it became in Destiny 2 and whatever, but basically this picture really shows that, yeah, there's a lot of this was intentional. I really think this was intentional. So with that being said, right, if this picture, if this was intentional, what does this mean? Well, it means that for some reason they put the Traveler on Mercury in a situation that doesn't make sense and at a time that doesn't make sense. And like I said in my video, I have no answer, no concrete solid answer to give you. I don't even have a solid theory to give you, because this absolutely breaks the lore. This is a straight up anomaly. And what I forgot to mention, and I will say it here, is that they didn't just randomly simulate this. The Vex cannot simulate anything paracausal. And I was talking about this with my friend, and I said, well, dude, you know, we've always been told that. But then in the trailer for Curse of Osiris, they actually were simulating the Guardians in the Vault of Glass. And my friend says, well, that doesn't count. It's not canon, because the Infinite Forest is only able to simulate the past, present, and future of Mercury. The Vault of Glass is on Venus. So it's kind of a wishy-washy, doesn't actually, whatever. And so what he told me is, if you really think about it, the reason why the Traveler is there is not just because they're randomly simulating it. It's because they were there when the Traveler was there. And so this is a memory. So they're not actually simulating the Traveler, they just remember it being there. And so they're just kind of having like a representation of it. So again, that just further shows this isn't just there for the giggles, right? Okay. So with all of that out of the way, is there anything that I can say about this? And I did touch on this in the video, and that is, I have to point to the Staten Cut. And what you need to understand about the Staten Cut. So for those of you who don't understand, Joe Staten was the original guy who did the story for Destiny 1. And everybody kind of knows, you know, Destiny 1 got, you know, bad development time, and, you know, he left and the story went to crap and whatever. I want you to visualize this, because when you actually visualize it, it completely changes your perspective. This wasn't some dude with a draft that got thrown in the bin. This wasn't a half-made campaign that got scrapped. Destiny 1 was supposed to come out, and they announced this. It was originally supposed to come out September of 2013. That was the release date. They scrapped the story in August. I want you to think about how long it takes to make a game and how much was probably done a month away from the game's release. Now, I know these are very different, but like, how many games like Call of Duty or, you know, any others have betas a month before the game comes out? And you know what they say to the people who are like, oh, like if the game is trash, right, or it's really buggy, oh, it's just a beta, they'll fix it. What does everybody say? No, the game is basically already done. It's too late to really change anything. And again, these betas are basically like a month before the game comes out. That was Destiny 1. That was the state of the Staten story. I would bet money that the cutscenes were done, the dialogue was done, the missions were done, all of it. And the reason why this is so important is because whenever in any video or anything else, when I talk about the Staten cut in the original story, this wasn't some mystical piece of paper that just never happened. This was the game. And the game was butchered a month before it came out. And I mean that literally, where they ended up having to carve up the areas and the mission areas to fit the new story. Okay. So with that in mind, we don't have access to the Staten cut. Like, we don't know the full story. We know bits and pieces. There's different leaks. There's different rumors. There's whatever. And one of those is that the Traveler had a really heavy connection to the Vex. And for starters, and I think this is very plausible, the one theory and the one thing that people have kind of taken away from, and this is taken from people maybe who knew somebody, I guess, who worked at Bungie, or honestly, a lot of this stuff came from really early playtesters. I did see things about that. So this is concept art, and I showed this last stream, I think. This is concept art of the inside of the Traveler, and this is the Black Garden. This is the Black Garden. And you know what's interesting, actually, is that I would not be surprised if these were ships. And if these are ships, these were actually, let me pull this. Oh, that's not it. One second. Okay. Okay, save, yes. Open up. So you see this shape here? There you go. Okay. Also, this dude here, that's actually the final boss of Garden of Salvation. That's what happened to that. But I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if these are Vex ships. If they are ships. Maybe they're not. I don't know. So, this was the original vision for the Black Garden. And I remember a friend of mine was even told by a Bungie dev that inside the Traveler was a city. I specifically remember being told this. And that's basically, there you go, right? At the same time, in Destiny 1 Vanilla, the Vex are very much connected to the Black Garden. And then in Shadowkeep, you get two things. In the Garden of Salvation lore, it's stated that the Vex see the Black Garden as a weakness and a weak spot for them as a whole. And that's why they defend it so viciously, you know? The second thing, actually, is we got the Season of Undying trailer. And in that trailer, it's the one where the Vex are getting made, and then they walk out of the portal and into the Black Garden. And Ikora says, she talks about the importance that the Black Garden has for the Vex. Now, with all of that taken into consideration, you remember that, what was the Black Garden? It was originally the inside of the Traveler. At the same time, look at Destiny 1's story. What was the whole point of Destiny 1's story? Destroy the Black Heart. Why destroy the Black Heart? The Black Heart was preventing the Traveler from recovering and healing. Where was the Black Heart? In the Black Garden. Where was the Black Garden? Oh, that's right. The inside of the Traveler, where the Black Heart was. Where it was keeping the Traveler from, I guess, recovering. And then you connect it to everything that I just said about the Vex. These types of connections are remnants of that original story. And even though they have retconned that, it's still there. And so, to answer the question of what is there that I can say about this, all I can say is perhaps that picture. Perhaps this picture that was made for Destiny 1 also is a remnant. Because the theory goes that the Vex actually were servants of the Traveler. They were like its worker bees. And either they turned on the Traveler and joined the darkness, or when the Traveler, lost in the collapse, they lost connection to it, and then they just kind of kept working and then overdid it and whatever. Because here's the reality of the situation. When you look at this picture, what were the two problems? And I keep repeating myself, what were the two problems? The situation, which is the Traveler is there while they're doing this, and also the timeline. I really can't tell you much about the timeline. I don't know why the Traveler is there, but I can say this. If the Traveler actually was there, and the Vex had started changing the planet, then there's only two options. And this is where it just kind of gets common sense. The first option is that the Traveler is okay with the Vex ruining the world, it's part of the plan, and that implies that there's something malicious going on with the Traveler and the Vex. The other option is that this actually was not originally the Vex doing anything malicious. This was all part of the terraforming or the Golden Age or something, right? Or this was temporary or something. So, yeah, it's I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Another thing as well is there's that potential relationship going on. And at the same time, there's another theory, which is that not only are they connected to the Traveler through the Black Heart, but they actually began and they originated from the Black Heart. Another really valid question is, who made the Traveler? I'll be back in 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Where was the thingamajig? Here we go. What built the Traveler? What made it? It is a machine. There are people who say that the Traveler just kind of spawned into existence. That the Traveler it wasn't built, it was just 1 second, it was just there. I refuse to believe that. It is a machine. It is literally a machine. And it had to have a creator. And when you look at the precursor Vex and you look at their design and how it just looks like it would be perfect for the Traveler, I would not be surprised if an original story was that the Vex made the Traveler. I would not be surprised by that. I'm not saying they did, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised by that. So there's a lot going on here, right? There's a lot of these connections happening. And this brings me to the next point, right? So I've talked about, the mystery, how I think that this is an intentional thing going on here. I've talked about the links that the Vex have to the Traveler that potentially trace all the way back to the original Destiny 1 story. And, there's a lot of questions like their connection to the Black Heart. Were they actually, like, working with the Traveler? Did they actually make the Traveler for the Gardener? Whatever. A theory I had back in the day, and I think this would have been perfect, is that the Traveler was made by the Pyramid Race, because, fun fact, the Traveler and the Pyramids both use resonance. The Traveler uses a blue resonance, and the Pyramids have like a, the orange reddish color. But this brings me to the next point, which is the Vex question. That's what I call it. And the Vex question is basically, what is their purpose? What is the purpose of the Vex? Because in my opinion, I believe that the Vex have gone through the same, I don't want to say tragedy, because it's like, a bit of an exaggeration, but it's the same unfortunate situation as the 9. So like I said in my 9 stream, I really think a lot of what's wrong with the 9 and why they're so absent and why there's just nothing really happening with them is because they experienced a golden age of information during Forsaken. And it was a build-up and a build-up and a build-up. And it was a build-up of us learning about them, but it was also a build-up of them getting ready for the pyramids. And as we know, and as I explained, Destiny 3 was in development during this time. My opinion is that the 9 were supposed to have a bigger part to play in Destiny 3. When Destiny 3 got scrapped, they kind of just lost that, like Bungie didn't really know what to do with them, they weren't just gonna, you know what I'm trying to say. And so I really believe that, and what's funny, right, like I show you this picture here, I can get an even better example. I can literally get you a better example. Let me find it. Here it is. I found you. There you go. This is also really early Destiny 1 concept art. And yeah. I mean, this is presumably... I actually don't know what planet this is, to be honest with you, but... yeah. Anyway. Like I said, those links between the Vex and the Traveler are the remnants, I believe, of the old story. And the issue is that if the Vex really were that tightly connected to the Traveler, story-wise, then that being retconned, it doesn't just change information, it actually changes their identity. And the reality is that the Vex have always been the vaguest faction in Destiny. They are used as a tool and something convenient. They're the generic enemy of the franchise. They are. I'll just say it. They're the generic enemy of the franchise. The Fallen have been given depth. The Fallen have been given a history. The Fallen have been given named characters that have stuck around. The Cabal have been given depth. The Cabal have been given history. The Cabal have been given characters that have stuck around. What else is there? The Taken are, you know... To be fair, the Taken are also generic, but the Taken are also just based off of the other races, two of which that I've mentioned have already been fleshed out more. Am I missing... You got, wait, 1, 2, 3, who am I missing? Fallen, Cabal... Oh, the Hive, that's it. Of course. How could I forget? The Hive. The Hive have had literal books written about them. They have so much depth. We literally know their entire history. Millions of years, potentially, of history. And they have named characters that have stuck around. Do you want to know what the most amount of depth we have about the Vex are? And the thing is, I know that they will be like, oh, well, there's this really, like, vague and really, like, hidden away piece of lore. Okay, no, I don't count that, no. The most in-depth information we've gotten about the Vex are that they have a home world that was in Beyond Light. They are split into different collectives. Their motivation is to be completely in control of their future and to go on forever. And one faction serves the witness. And also weird stuff as to, like, and the thing is, like, everybody is like, oh yeah, no, the Vex are the Radiolaria, right? Didn't Bungie straight up say at one point, like in Destiny 1 or early Destiny 2, that they weren't the Radiolaria? Like, it's so vague, and it's so intentionally vague. And if you think everything that I just said is in depth, right? You compare that to the other factions. You compare that to the other factions. It doesn't, it's not even, like, it's just not. So, in my opinion, that is actually the answer to why the Vex are like this, because they had an original story and an original identity, and that got scrapped. And you know the funny thing? The funny thing is that it isn't like the Vex were going to be the big bad of the franchise. It's really just context. And their context is for a story that doesn't exist anymore. And so what context exists for them now? They're just a race that... Like, yeah, it's completely, you know. So, I think the most in-depth character we ever got from the Vex was Courier. And Courier had the potential to be something really special, you know. In my opinion, Courier was the only Vex that I've heard of that actually probably deserved to be a raid boss. Certainly more than whatever this Bingus ended up being. So that's really the Vex question, and I think that's the answer to it, right? And I think that is why they have been treated the same way as the Nine. And I understand we're getting the echoes, or whatever echoes the episode. I'm not expecting much. I'm really not. It's gonna be about other characters interacting with the Vex. And maybe we'll get a backstory, and maybe we'll get all the details, but I don't know. There's a chance of it, but I'm not holding my breath. And, yeah, my second last point is just going back to this picture, right? When I looked at this and I realized what was going on, I was genuinely curious And it raised a lot of questions. Questions that I've asked you. And not only do I believe that it was intentional for Bungie to put this here, but I think it was intended to raise questions. And I do go into a bit more detail in the other video that I uploaded today for the members. But I do think that these questions were genuinely intended. So what happened? Well, I think that for starters, Curse of Osiris. Well, I mean, there's a chance that the story got changed during the development. I mean, okay, I'm not going to go into it, but like, I think it definitely did. Not just because of D1 stuff, but also literally because of things said by Bungie narrative team members during the reveal stream of Curse of Osiris. But at the same time, Curse of Osiris was not received well. Now, I actually liked it, but people hated it. People hated it. So I think whatever, you know, if this was part of the core story, I wouldn't be surprised if they just wanted to distance themselves as much as possible. It's kind of like the theory about Jar Jar Binks actually being a Sith Lord, and that's why they made him the way he was in Episode 1. And then because he got so much hate, they completely scrapped the story and introduced Count Dooku and just distanced themselves from him as a character as much as possible. That could be the case. But regardless, I think they set up the question and they never followed up on it. They never followed up on it. And to tell you the truth, I don't think it ever will be. I don't think so. I really don't. And so at the end of the day, my final point is it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a mystery, and it's a plot hole, and it's very confusing, and I can give you the potential, you know, potential links to other stories. I can come up with different potential reasons, but at the end of the day, this has no answer. And I don't think it ever will. I do not think it ever will. And that is why I made the video today. Well, I mean, I made it yesterday, but this is, you know, the video that came out today. That's why I'm releasing it. Because I've spent so much time thinking about it, I've asked for advice and whatever, and I've come to the point where I have accepted that there is going to be nothing new. I don't believe anyway, so now is the time. But yeah, that's everything I have to say on that. And yeah, GG. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Hey clone, how you doing? Hey Jason. Sorry, it's a D2 from the time Osiris showed the future. I'm not too sure what you mean. How do we know that they're from D1? Well, first of all, I would actually... So, this is what I was told. So, I know the author who... Or not the author, yikes. I know the artist who made these pictures. I mean, I don't, like, know him personally, but, like, I know who did it. And from what I can see with my eye, right? Just whatever. This is an older style that matches a lot of the older Destiny 1 concept art. And at the same time, the Destiny 2 art is clearly labeled as such. It is Destiny 2 art. And what I can tell you is that the Destiny 2 art is basically them taking the old stuff and then redoing it and putting a fresh coat of paint over it. That's as much as I know. And what I also am aware of is that there's a good chance that these pictures were D1 concepts that were supposed to be for D1 that actually got just shipped over to D2. You would be surprised how much of Destiny 2 was actually made from Destiny 1 concepts. Originally, Vex were fighting for the light too. Yeah. They can still attempt to simulate us. It doesn't mean... No, exactly. No, so, like, okay, and that's why, like, the Traveler's there. It's not that they're actually simulating the Traveler and how it works and all that. It's more if they can simulate, like, a representation, if that makes sense. The thing is that Bungie delayed it for a year, and they had a whole year. I don't think it was enough time, dude. It wasn't enough time. Yep. Yep. Also, the pyramids came from the Traveler as well. I don't know about that. I did say this before. I actually asked a Bungie dev who did work in that time, who worked for like on the OG Destiny 1. And I straight up asked him about the pyramid stuff. And like if there was a race and whatnot. And from what he told me, it could actually go either way. But I don't think that... I don't know. Yeah. I agree. They've never attacked the Traveler, despite it being on Mercury with them. I wonder if the original story of the Vex are the same or different from our Vex. Yeah, it's tough, man. I'm not too sure. I do know Bungie at the time was thinking of having factions in each races. Yeah, true. Let's ask Marzier if he has more info on the original story of the Vex. Bro, I kid you not. I actually want to do a podcast with Marzier and just like literally open the floodgates to like everything he knows. I want to do it. Marzier, I don't know if you're here because you've actually been lurking in the last few streams. If you are lurking, let me know if you would ever want to do a podcast because like yeah, I would certainly be down. How do you feel about... Hey Travis, how you doing, man? How do you feel about the Traveler and the Veil? Bro, dude. So I was actually streaming earlier, and I did the reset and I did the story mission. And if you would like to know my thoughts on that, I went on a rampage about that. And as a matter of fact, that is actually what the video is going to be about that I'm working on for tomorrow. When I'm going to start working on it tomorrow. Because let me put it like this. I would be shooketh if the Veil existed at Bungie before Witch Queen. I'm not even convinced it existed in Shadowkeep. The Traveler has always been a concept in Destiny. Always. Since the very conception. Except like the really early, like literal earliest times when they didn't even know if it was going to be like a sci-fi or a fantasy or whatever. Like once they got like the core concept, Traveler, boom. The Veil wasn't there. Okay? The Veil... And the thing is, right, they're acting as if, oh, this is just the way it is, and this is the answer, and yeah. And you're going to have people in the lore community, and maybe creators as well, who will just act as like, this is the way it is, and they'll accept it, they'll go with the flow, and be like, hey guys, like, this is the big reveal about this. I'm not going to be one of those people. I don't care. I refuse. Just like when they insinuated Nezarec was a disciple, and I refused until the very last day Not just because like I was a fanboy or for fan fiction reasons, because his own lore went against it. Bungie has to convince me why they are a pair when the one is a machine and the other isn't. They're not doing that. They're just stating it and acting as if that's just the way. I refuse. I refuse. I don't even really acknowledge the Veiled's existence. And quite honestly, I'm not saying this was the case, and I'm open to being wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Veil didn't even exist before Lightfall. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. It's a gimmick. It purely existed as a plot device to get us to go to Neomuna, for all the good that did. And it acted as a gimmick for the Witness to get into the Traveler? The lore is broken. It makes no sense. And then comes in the whole, oh, but the darkness is the mental stuff and it's the consciousness of the universe. Oh, bro, it is a tumor. It looks like a tumor. It probably smells like a tumor. And that is what it is in this narrative. I'll just say it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We had how many years of the Traveler just sitting there with like no information about it? But hey, at least we had a tangible enemy to fight against. We considered the enemy race of the darkness. Oh yeah, they all invaded at the same time and then they caused the collapse. Okay, then they weren't the case. Then that wasn't the case. Oh, it was the pyramids, the ships. Okay, tangible enemy. Oh, the winnower. Okay, the gardener, the winnower. Okay, makes sense. Tangible. And now we're expected to just sit here and accept this veil thing. And I'm not even convinced Bungie knows everything about it. And I said this before, if Bungie perfectly understood the veil, then their explanations would have been a lot clearer. It really seems to me like when somebody has to like jump through all kinds of hoops and is super vague about their explanations, that they don't really understand it. And keep in mind, if any of you dare think that this was just Bungie keeping their cards close to their chest because they don't want to do a big reveal about the veil, Lightfall single-handedly has literally destroyed so many people's opinions of the franchise's storytelling capabilities. Them giving us that information and that stuff about the veil, I'm not even confident that was planned for Season of the Deep or whatever season it was. They actually had to give us the information. And it was still confusing. So do you want my opinion about the Traveler and the Veil being a pair? I reject it. Not because it's not me saying that that's not the way it is in the world, because that's up to Bungie, and at the moment they're saying that yes, they're a pair. I'm rejecting it because I'm saying it does not make sense, it does not fit the lore, it goes against the lore, and it goes against the original concept of the story. It's a joke. And keep in mind, like whenever I get heated or I get angry, I'm not getting angry at writers, I'm getting angry just like the story, right? It's just whatever, like I'm not, whatever. But no, I just think the Veil it's the same as the Witness, man. And like, maybe, like, fine, maybe I'm like a Pyramid simp or a Nezric fanboy. At least those stories were cool. At least those stories were easily understood. Even the Winnower. Like, people can say the Winnower doesn't exist all they want. The Winnower is still a far more interesting and more easily understandable concept than the Witness. Easily. Also, far more intimidating of a villain. It just, I don't know, dude. It is what it is. It is what it is. To pass the butter. True. They are the solution to the equation that flowers can be involved. Uh-huh. That wasn't their homeworld for the Vex. It was just a 4-star. I don't know. I thought it was implied that that was their homeworld. I mean, listen, I'm actually happy to be proven wrong here if that is the case. For sure. Volantis is currently their homeworld as we know now. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. No, going back to the art and the logos and stuff like that. Yeah, again, um, I'm not even sure. I haven't actually done too much digging into it, but I know that the artist Dorje Belbrook actually has deleted art before. Um, so I don't know if this stuff is super available or not, but at the end of the day, right, I'm pretty confident it is Destiny 1 art. Even if it wasn't, I don't think that actually changes anything. It really doesn't change anything. The Veil is a... I'm a Nezric fanboy, I'm proud. They did my boy dirty, for sure. The Veil is a broken punch. True. Do you guys think the Veil is supposed to be the Pyramid faction's name after seeing the D3 leaks in the last lives? Like, Clone, I'm not saying that the Veil was the name of the race, but it... Like, does the Veil really make sense as a name for it? You know? Do you want my honest opinion? And I'm not saying I'm right. This is just my gut feeling, okay? My gut feeling is they knew the Veil was a buzzword. Also, I will have you know that the 9 actually referred to the pyramids as the Falling Veil. So there's that. I think Bungie knew that the term the Veil was a buzzword. A lot of people are interested in leaks. Everybody's been interested about a D3 and the 5th race. And so everybody's been theorizing that they're called the Veil. I think Bungie took advantage of that and called this thing the Veil. I wouldn't be surprised. And if I am wrong, I do apologize, but that's just, you know, me looking at it from the outside. I wonder if the 9 strange women concept art is supposed to be witness the 9 pyramids. I don't know, Clone. And what's weird is that, as far as I'm aware, we've never seen anything like that picture in game, like ever. Like, there's like nothing close. I really couldn't tell you. It could be the 9. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't think it's pyramid because there's just none of the same tones or themes going on there. I'll have to reread it. I don't remember it saying it was their homeworld. Clovis would be able to tell anyways. All he knows that they were... Yeah. The name race made up by the community. Actually, Jay, that's not true. According to Archival Mind, somebody who got the code, or like the... I don't know what it's called, for like the first Shadowkeep mission. You know like how like the queues... It's almost like a stage thing where it's like the player does this and experiences this. Apparently that for the first mission straight up calls the moon pyramid like the Veil ship. So I actually don't believe it's purely and Archival doesn't make crap up like he doesn't. I mean literally he for the record, Archival disagrees with me about a lot of things. He's the one who sent me the textures for the king and queen statues. So, I don't know. I trust him. But anyway, if this Veil video actually is what's coming out tomorrow, then there'll be an extended discussion about that. So, it's basically, yeah. Yeah, but the name was being said prior to Shadowkeep. Yeah, well, like I said, Jay, the Nine used the whole Falling Veil terminology for the pyramids in Forsaken. So, I don't know. Also, didn't Anon call them the Nine? I'm sorry, not Anon. Sorry, didn't Anon call them the Veil? I can't remember. I have to check that. Anon the Nine. And the Leak as well, actually, that was pretty correct about a lot of things. Did call them the Nine. D3. Again, I'm not saying they were the Veil 100%. I'm not convinced that the term was just purely, you know, made up. Yeah, and on the Nine. And on the Nine called them the Veil. How? Yeah, where did you get that? Where did you hear it in D1? That must have been like post Taken King, surely. Where did you hear it in Destiny 1? Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I couldn't tell you anything about that. I really don't. I don't know anything about that. But, yeah. I think it's also, I think it also kind of ties in with the whole veiled woman statue. You know? But, yeah. But yeah, that's basically everything that I have to say about the Vex and all that. So if anybody has any questions about that, like the whole Mercury stuff and the Traveler, maybe you came from another. Yeah. You're like an echo. But yeah, I did the story for this week, and I talked about it a bit in the stream, but the story isn't really getting much better. And yeah, I don't know. I I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I might make a video on this in the future. Well, no, actually, no. This probably could easily get tied in with what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I haven't even started writing the script for tomorrow's video, but then call it the Medela? You mean like Medela? Or Mandela? Mandela. That was it. Was it Mandela? But yeah, no, the story hasn't really improved. There's a lot of filler. Actually, the video I was going to do before I heard the stuff about the veil from Osiris was that I actually don't think that. I don't believe that. Yeah, I get you. I don't believe Mara did the stuff with the eggs. It doesn't make sense. I think it was Riven just being a silly goober. I don't know who did, and to be honest with you, I don't really care. The whole drama and the whole egg collecting is, in and of itself, a chore-filled quest. And yeah, I don't know, dude. In a way, it makes me kind of envious of people who don't play the seasons and who just get the expansion, because they get to experience it without having to do all the side quest stuff. Where most experience things, but we remember them differently. Yeah, true. True, true, true. The relationship between Petra and Aldrin or Crow, like, it's okay, but it's again, it's all just a lot of filler and a lot of fluff. And I know that there are people who actually really value that stuff. I'm very picky about it. I actually think the only times where this has been genuinely like, okay, like I really actually care about this, was between Drifter and Eris, and also Drifter and Saladin in Season of the Deep. And that was really good. Girlfriend, goth girlfriend? Oh, Eris. Yeah, for sure. But other than that, it just feels like a lot of filler and a lot of fluff, and it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. A character can have a really heartfelt, serious moment. They're never going to mention it in an expansion. Because the sad reality is they design the stories to be played and understood by people who don't play the seasons. So, yeah. But, no, I think a really good twist. Yeah, true. It just made sense, but that is true, yeah. I think a good twist would genuinely be if the wish with Riven does actually fall apart. And then we just have to do it on our own. I mean, at least it's something, right? But... True, that's a good one. You liked the Eva Levant, Taylor? Yeah. Written lore is a little bit different. Written lore is a bit different, but... to be fair, but she rarely comes up as well, right? She rarely comes up. It's not like they make the whole, like, you just know Aldrin, or sorry, Crow and Osiris and Petra and Mara. There's gonna be so much of this drama and this, oh, I remember who I used to be. Oh, don't blame yourself. Oh, but I do. Oh, I remember this. Oh yeah, you used to do. It's gonna be this whole thing for the whole season. Last season was almost perfect. It's just Ikora kept on flip-flopping between believing in Eris and doubting her. I think the best, honestly, was just Season of Arrivals, because it was just Eris trying to figure things out. And there wasn't really any of this, you know. So when are we discussing these things you do not usually... Wait. I don't know what you mean by that. So when are we discussing these things you usually do not worry about anymore? He might. Um, I actually don't think he will, to be honest with you. But, I mean, maybe. Oh, sorry, of course. So written lore is different because written lore does not take the main stage. You don't have to sit through written lore as much. So okay, fluff is fluff. If there is information that in the big scheme of things is irrelevant, that translates across both cutscenes and the written lore. That being said, it's worse when the actual main story of the season has that, and then you have to sit through it, knowing that it doesn't actually pay off in the end. Right? So that's why it's different. It is different. Like, how do I say this? I see these moments, these like emotional therapy and these whatevers. I just see them as ways of them trying to make the player feel things. Like making the players go like, "Aw," or whatever. But to me, and this might sound harsh, but it feels a bit cheap to me because I know that there's nothing really going to come out of it, you know. Like if let's just say, right, hypothetically. Let's say Zavala was on Neptune. And no, bro, let's say Zavala died in the Lightfall cinematic. Okay? Let's say Lightfall, the first cinematic. Zavala tries to 1v1 the Witness. And he's beaten back. He loses his guns. He runs again. He gets blasted back. His armor is shattered. A chunk of it is stuck in his chest. He's bleeding out. His ghost is dead on the ground. Its light drained. He looks up and he staggers and runs at the Witness one last time, and he yells out, "For Hakim!" That is a payoff. That is the fluff paying off. The same with Kate 6. "I'm coming home, Ace." That's payoff, you know? But a lot of this doesn't happen. And like I need to be clear. This is purely subjective. Now, it not paying off is not subjective, right? It's built up in a season, and after the season, it rarely, if ever, comes up again. That's just a fact. My opinion of it is subjective, in that I do not value it. There are people who will play the season, and that will really matter to them, and even if there is no payoff, they still care. I do not. I am somebody who only cares, for the most part, about the story that actually matters in the great scheme of things. And this is made worse by the fact that Destiny as a story has been stretched so thinly over 10 years, and there's been so much padding. I'm at the point where I'm like, I just give me the real stuff. Give me the good stuff. Just give it to me. And yeah, I can kind of, when I see that there's not really a payoff and that it's just trying to get people to feel things, it doesn't do it for me, you know? It doesn't really do it for me. And honestly, like, I don't even play the game, but I've seen the same thing happening in World of Warcraft. I don't know if you guys know Asmongold, the streamer. I mean, surely some of you do. But even he, like, he is complaining about Dragonflight and World of Warcraft and all the characters talking about their feelings. It doesn't, like, it just doesn't. It is what it is, you know? Jay, why did you delete the man's message? Okay, yeah, sweet, nice. You just finished the weekly story. I hate the Veil being paired with the Traveler. Makes no sense. It's... And the thing is, like, is there a world... Unmute his message if you can. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. I think I can just have it like that. Is there a world in which the Veil and the Traveler being a pair makes sense, and that they can make it make sense? There is only one way. And it is if the pairing is not in fact the Traveler and the Veil, but the beings inside. To do this, they would actually need to put the Winnower inside the Veil the way the Gardener is inside the Traveler, which I don't actually like. The reality is that yes, the Gardener and the Winnower are a pair. In that sense, it would actually work. But from the machine ball and the tumor, I do not understand how those two were made at the exact same time and together and a pair, or that they were connected or any. I don't see it. I do not see it. But yeah, that's my point. That's my yeah. I'm gonna make a video on that tomorrow. And yeah. Yeah, this is what it is. I'm actually really looking forward to the... What is it? The Wishkeeper bow? Let me see this. Yeah, the Wishkeeper bow. I'm actually looking forward to it. Because it's based inside the Black Garden. And let me put it like this. If Bungie wants to get explanations out of the way for the final shape about the Gardener or anything like that, this is easily the time to have those hints and those things come up. Easily the time. If they do nothing with this mission in terms of the deeper lore, that's really a missed opportunity. That's a really missed opportunity. And for the record, I have not listened to the data mined dialogue from the season, so I do not know any spoilers. Okay? So when I'm saying these things, like, I'm just, you know. But yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't really like Strand. I don't use it, but and I don't think I'll use the bow, but I think the bow looks really cool, and I'm looking forward to the mission quite a bit. But yeah. I think that's everything from me though, guys. I don't want to stretch this out longer than whatever. I will ask you this, anybody who's here. Next week on Tuesday, is it worth me streaming the reset? Because it seems like people don't really enjoy that type of stream. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't. Is it worth me streaming the reset, or should I just, like, you know, just not do that? Because if people, like, if you want to see me do it, then that's great. But I don't want to be. I don't know. I can just do it on my own, and then I can, like, make a video, or I can work on other stuff. No, the bow is okay. Right, I will straight up show you this, because I was watching Aztecross today, and Bungie actually says it. Here you go. Look at this. You have the Black Garden. Available December 19th. Star-crossed. The stars will be your guide through the Dreaming City and beyond. Complete your mission and claim a weapon of great power lying hidden within the Black Garden. Discovered among the mysteries of the Black Garden. There you go. Okay. So anyway, my plan is to... I'm going to make this... 1 second. I'm going to make this video tomorrow and hopefully get that out. And we'll do our extended discussion stream. That should be good. And then Friday as well, I'm cooking up another video for that. And that's going to be... I think that's going to be a cool video. I think you guys are going to like it a lot. And... I will actually bring up the thumbnail. Marzir made this for me, and he's just a freaking genius, dude. Actually, I can just open it from here. Look at this. That's not it. It's insane. And then this is the OG version. Not the OG, sorry, but the version without the border. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to making this one. This should be good. And yeah. It's like he's made of Ahamkara's bones. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Normally I like welcome everybody that I see for the first time. I'm gonna try and figure out how to pronounce your name because I want to be able to do that. So, wait a minute.
Steel Srurov.
Okay, I don't know. I tried. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. But welcome. Thank you for being here. I don't think I've seen you before, so thank you for stopping by. And I really appreciate you being here, man. It's like he's made of Ahamkara's bones. Maybe? Yeah. You know what I noticed about that other Vex image is that... Yeah, for sure. It does indeed. Are you on about the big boy? Are you on about... Yeah, no, yeah, it is. It's basically like a copy and paste, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm pretty much done here. Kind of looks like a Scion. Yeah, I mean, like it's him using different assets and stuff like that. The helmet, I think, is actually based off of I think he took it from a Destiny 1 emblem, which is really cool. I think it was... I can find... If the website will load. That would be really good. Uh-oh. My computer has frozen. Here we go. Yeah, this one. So here's a really fun fact for you guys. That right there is the pyramid symbol, the snake pattern. That's the pyramid pattern there. This is a D1 emblem. So, take that as you will. What? Very interesting. I know, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. No, it is. I think it is. I think it is made up of bones. I think for sure. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it would make sense. It ties into the seasonal story and all of that. Indeed. Yep. Oh, I mean, as for the emblem, I don't know, but yeah. And someday, I think I'm going to wait until Final Shape comes out. If Final Shape comes out and there's nothing, I'm going to do a really big boy video just purely about Nezarec and what happened to him. Because I think he deserves it. But we'll see. But anyway, I think I'm going to end it there because I've covered pretty much everything. And maybe from someone's... Okay, bro. Okay. I did get that spoiled for me. Basically, tomorrow I'm going to work on the next video, which is all about why I do not like the Veil and why I think it messes up the story and why this week's story mission brought up stuff that just doesn't make any sense to me. And then, yeah, I will release that hopefully tomorrow and then we can meet again. Do I think the Pyramid Race has been retconned? No. No. The answer is no. No, I don't think so. I think if they do retcon it, it's going to completely butcher everything, and, yeah. If they retcon the race as well, the Witness is literally a wet fart. And it's, yeah. It depends, like... I don't like saying this because it sounds really mean. But, in my opinion, I think the reason why a lot of these things are done and then they get retconned, or they're never really shown. I think Bungie really struggles to tell long-term like really in-depth stories. I think the Nezarec stuff was like that. I think the Pyramid Race is like that. The Winnower potentially is like that. The Gardener is like that. These are really complicated. Not complicated, but like you need to explain a lot and you need to do it well. And I don't know if Bungie's actually really capable of doing that. And I would love for the narrative team to prove me wrong. I would be so happy. I would be so happy. But I really get the feeling like they have these things and they keep them, and then they just in the end they just feel like, well, this is just too much effort, or this is too much hassle than it's worth. Like something like the Witness is so basic and bare bones in my opinion that I really wouldn't be surprised if there were people during the development of Shadowkeep or even Destiny 3 or whenever the Witness was conceived who were like, we don't care about this Winnower concept or character, or it's too vague or it's too complicated. We're going to make our own villain. Now the question is this, right? If they were going to retcon the Pyramid Race, why would they literally have things coming up Like, why would they literally have things as recent as Witch Queen and Lightfall? Why would they keep that? Like, make up your minds. So not only would the retcon kind of destroy, I think, the pyramids for sure. Like, it would actually destroy the pyramids as a story. It also makes the narrative team look so incredibly undecisive. It's like, if you're going to retcon there being a race and that they were human or whatever, just decide it. Why are we still having human statues in Witch Queen? I don't know. As for if we're going to get like an actual race gameplay wise, people are like having hope that with the delay we're going to get them. I don't have that hope. I think it'd be great, but I'm not holding hope out for that. I refuse to believe they're done with Nezarec. Here's the thing. They could have easily introduced Nezarec in a way that still opened the door for more. The fact that they treated him the way they did, to me, and I'm just going to say it, and this is just my opinion, it shows that whoever did that really doesn't care about that character. If you really cared about the character, you wouldn't make him look like that. And you wouldn't have him be so insignificant. And the whole Savathun being able to kill him before she had the light even. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think... I think they could have done it better. And also, they broke the helmet lore. And do I think they care? I don't know if they really do. I don't know. You know, I'll tell you one thing, right? I want to hear more from the narrative team. You know, the Twab, sure, fine. Joe Blackburn, I love watching him, you know, talk and actually interact with the community. I want the narrative team to actually like do what, like, you know. And the thing is, I understand I'm gonna get hit with it. Oh, but they're gonna get hit with like death threats, and people are gonna like dox them, and people are gonna... I get it. I understand. But it helps me understand things in the game when I can understand like who's actually writing it, you know. And the thing is, which I know Shadowkeep did that. I remember Shadowkeep, when they first revealed Shadowkeep, they straight up had Dado talking with, I think, with people from the narrative team, and I was like, okay, this is actually really good. This is great. And occasionally we see people from the narrative team in like Vidocs or on the reveal streams. I want to hear more from them. I want them to explain, we went in this direction because we think this is the right thing to do, because it would be one thing for the Veil to exist the way it is and for us to get that information, or for Nezarec to go the way he went, and somebody from the narrative team sits down, and even like if it's like a Bungie interview and they just released the video. So, you know, we actually got to see Nezarec, and what could you tell us about that and your reasoning? Oh yeah, so, you know, the team, we were looking at Nezarec and we decided to do this or that, or yeah, so we wanted to create this thing and it ultimately became the Veil, and these were our goals, and this is what we wanted to achieve, and this is, you know, whatever, and just anything like that. I would love that, but yeah. Anyway. Bro, I remember, I think it was Mylan, years ago, said that he went, it was Mylan or Blythe, I think it was Mylan, said that he went to a Bungie summit. And it was him and a bunch of other creators. And they were told, they were shown a bunch of people, a bunch of staff members. And they were said, okay, so PvP guys, this is the PvP team. You go talk to them, ask them any questions. You, PvE team, you know, go over there. Raid team, go over there, whatever. And eventually he was just like, where do I go for like the lore and the story? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, go over here. And then he had to go like find these people. Like, oh hi guys. Like, oh hi. No, I know it was with Luke. Okay, so it was just the two of them by themselves. I remember it was a guy and a girl. And I think I may have seen the girl actually. I think she still works there. I think I may have seen her in Witch Queen too. Yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna chill for a bit and I'm gonna just kind of wind down. Yeah, I know. But it was really good hanging out with you guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciated it. And yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and we will purely focus on the Veil stuff, and yeah, should be good. But yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.